So I'm not sure he will be around for long enough in terms of breaking the GOAT's records.
Yeah, we all know what Phil Taylor achieved pretty much every single tournament. Maybe we'll have this conversation in 5 or 6 years' time, and we'll see what mindset Luke Littler has at this point. A reminder of how the Premier League Finals night works, if you're not aware. In the weekly nights that we brought you on talkSPORT 2 for the 16 weeks as we went around the UK and around Europe, quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals. So there were 8 players, 4 of whom have dropped out at this stage. Chris Dobey dropped out, Stephen Bunting, he dropped out, Rob Cross, he couldn't make it through, and Michael van Gerwen also didn't make it to finals night, a former winner of this tournament. So what it means is 2 semi-finals. First up is Luke Littler against Gerwyn Price, and then we'll have Nathan Aspinall against Luke Humphries. And in the semi-finals, it's best of 19 legs, so the first to 10 wins. When you get to the final between the 2 victors of the semi-finals, that is the best of 21 legs that will bring you on talkSPORT. So what we're effectively getting to, gentlemen, is the sort of course and distance that we used to when we go to Blackpool for the match play.
Absolutely. I think this is where these players really do separate themselves from a lot of the pros on the tour, because if you don't make the match play, you don't play a lot of long format darts, you can get found out really easily in best of 19. But these guys, we're talking about a winner of the match play in Luke Humphries and Aspinall, and we're talking about people who really want to win it in Price and in Littler, but they are adept at best of 31, even twice the distance if they need to go this far. So even for these guys who are seasoned at best of 19 and best of 21, this game can pass you by really quickly if you get a really bad start. You think it's hard in Premier League week to week? This is different. If you don't get a good start tonight, your dream is over in maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I think the only time when Luke's looked vulnerable is over the shorter race matches where, listen, he's not the most prolific practicer or preparer in the world, and listen, we've witnessed it where he's played himself in. Sometimes it's not worked out for him, but if he wins that first game 9 times out of 10, then he'll go on and win the night. And Nico's spot on. Listen, the match play was a disaster, but let's not forget he drew MVG first round last year.
That's right.
But look what he did in the Slam.
Yeah, the Grand Slam is the perfect example of this, because at that time we're thinking, is Littler the kind of player that can come back in a game when he's a little bit behind? That game with Anderson in the semi-finals, that answered all of the questions.
Remember, in just over 1 year on the tour, we're in a position now where Luke Littler only has to win the match play, the European Championships, the Grand Prix and the Players' Championship finals to complete the set of major ranking tournaments. He's got the Worlds, he's got the UK Open, he's got the Slam, he's on the way.
And listen, when you speak to him, he said first and foremost, I just want to win everything once. Well, he could get that done over the next few months, Nico.
Well, absolutely.
Well, he can, but I think there's nothing wrong with a little bit of greed in sport. You look at Tiger Woods, you look at Roger Federer and all of the people who were at the top of tennis like Rafa and Novak and Andy Murray and even Serena Williams. We don't have to talk about just male sport here. Greed isn't a bad thing, because greed can lead to a better legacy. He doesn't want to be someone who hangs around for 5 years and say, I won everything once. Well, what about the fact that you didn't win as many world titles as, say, a Gary Anderson or an Adrian Lewis? I think if he gets a lot of titles over the first 5 years, then he's got to start asking questions about what he genuinely wants for the rest of his life.
It's great to have Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson alongside me. Ian Danter here for the Premier League Finals night of the darts at the O2. Abigail Davies is also with us, stalking the corridors of power backstage, getting the word with the great and the good during the course of the evening. We'll be hearing from Abby shortly. But right now, let's get some odds with our friends at Ladbrokes. Yeah. Let's see what our betting guru Chris Mason makes of this. For match 1, Littler Price. Littler is 10-3, well 3-10, and Price to win at 5-2 against. And then for match 2, Humphries against Aspinall, 4-1 on Humphries for the win. Aspinall priced at 29-10. Mace, quickly your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I listen. The bookies are are more aware than I am, because they have compilers, they look at stats, they do what we do really. We crunch numbers to try and come up with a reason why we think maybe Price could win. Listen, if this was a race to 6 as it is normally, I'd expect that price to be similar. So the fact that it's over a longer race and they've still got him such a solid favourite, and I'm just looking at every metric, whether it be the tournament averages is 6 points in it, and that's too much of a gap, Nico, because he's more often not needing that extra turn.
That's exactly what it's about. If you're averaging 100.2, that's exactly 15 darts. So if you're taking 5 visits all the time, that's really good. And Littler's the only person averaging above that coming into finals night. Price is below that metric, which means Mace is right. He needs that 6th visit more often.
He's around averaging around 16 point something darts per leg.
Okay.
Well, Littler or Humphries aren't going to give you that opportunity.
So those are the odds for the semi-finals. A reminder, the Champions League final is live on talkSPORT from Munich on Saturday night with Adrian and the team. Paris Saint-Germain to win 7-4 on for Paris Saint-Germain. Inter Milan to win is priced at 5-4. That was the look at the very latest odds with our friends at Ladbrokes. It's 18+, begambleaware.org. Okay. First walk-on for Luke Little and Gerwyn Price upcoming shortly here at the O2 Arena for the Premier League Darts final. But there's been a couple of wickets in the one-day cricket. England hosting the West Indies at Edgbaston. Guy Swindle's watching for talkSPORT. That'll do nicely. Guy, thank you very much indeed. Serene progress at Edgbaston for England's ODI side. That's very good to hear. And of course, lots of live sport coming up over the summer across talkSPORT. When the football season finishes, doesn't mean the sport stops. British and Irish Lions touring down under. We've also got the World Match Play Darts. If you love the darts, you're listening to us right now. We'll bring you the match play live and free from Blackpool towards the end of July. 9 days of action to sort out both the men's and the women's titles. Luke Humphries won it last year for the men. Bo Greaves made it 2 out of 2 in the women's tournament. So we will bring you all the fun of the fair from Blackpool from I want to say it's the 19th of July.
Yeah, and plenty of behind the scenes content and plenty of reviews and previews. We're going to bring you lots on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe over there.
Actually, I should thank everybody so far that's subscribed and logged on to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, because we kind of launched it at Christmas whilst we were at Ali Pali for the World Championships, and we didn't make too much of a song and dance about it. We wanted to get the content up and running, but boy oh boy, you guys are eating it up. It's fantastic. Thank you for subscribing. Keep subscribing, because we'll keep the content coming. We've got our correspondent Harry Durham, who was always out and about having a chat with Colin Lloyd and getting the word on what's happening in darts around the PDC and elsewhere. And of course, darts never stops, even though you've got the Premier League going on. There's been European Tour action this past weekend.
I'm off to Leverkusen at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
There you go, because there's another European Tour event, and I think it's only Nathan Aspinall of these 4 finalists that's going out to Leverkusen.
He said that if he wins tonight, I don't think he's going. Which
fair enough.
Would be fair enough, I think.
Yeah, 275 grand. 275,000 reasons why he won't go.
Now, Nathan Aspinall, let's talk a bit about Nathan, because he's not the world number 1 like Luke Humphries. He's not a world champion like Luke Littler or Gerwyn Price from old. But he is a match play champion. He is a former UK Open champion. I think he's fascinating. And the reason for that is the fighting spirit that he shows through the adversity that he's had to deal with. For those that aren't aware, he's had injury problems which have plagued him. But boy, oh boy, does he grit his teeth and get on with it.
Well, interestingly, about 2 hours before Tour de Hockey, Nathan was talking to myself and Abi Davies backstage. We got a bit of an insight into his world right now, because he was talking to talkSPORT with Andy Goldstein and Benty in the last 24 to 36 hours.
Yep.
And fascinatingly, we talk about numbers, we talk about averages, percentages. His best thing can't be measured. It is one of those things that can't be seen. It's spirit. He's got it in spades. But I think the biggest thing for Aspinall's season, not just right now, but for the next 6 months, is that for the first time, and I don't know how long, he has been given the all clear in all of the injury departments. His back is good, his wrist is good, his elbow is good, his shoulder is good. If you've got a fully fit, spirited, motivated Aspinall tonight, watch out. He could cause an upset if he gets a good start.
Yeah, it's interesting. Nico uses the word spirit, I use the word heart. Now, I played like I had the heart of a breadcrumb, where he plays with just so much guts, and he refuses to lose. You literally have to peel him off the stage and drag him off there, because that's how much he enjoys being on it. But if he can get you embroiled, and that's the thing, that he's up against potentially either Littler or either Humphries in the final. If he beats Humphries, he's up against Littler, and Littler and Humphries are two guys that play at such a pace and at such a level. They often don't allow him to get embroiled in the type of match he wants. You know, it's like some fighters like to stand toe to toe. You can put it in a phone box. You know, he wants that kind of dart match, but these guys just don't give it to him.
If you're playing talkSPORT Darts Bingo, that's embroiled crossed off your list, and we did that about 7:17, I reckon. We got that out there. I must say as well, big thank you to all the talkSPORT Darts on the radio team who were not here tonight as part of the finals team. Mark Wilson and Chris Murphy, our commentators, Scotty Dog Mitchell and Laura Turner, who've been part of our summarising team, and our redoubtable producer Matt Gubbins, who's here with us tonight, keeping us on air and making sure we don't go off air. Thank you to all of you for everything that you've done. Chris, we'll see you later. Chris Mason is going to be back with Paul Nicholson for our second semi-final, but the first semi-final is now afoot, and you can hear John McDonald, the MC of proceedings here at the O2, doing his introductions. And first of all, we will welcome the former world champion from Markham in Wales, Gerwyn Price, the heel, and you can hear the boos already, Nico, for the Welshman as he stands on the end of the runway to walk towards the stage.
He looks a little nervous, but he might be disguising it as readiness. Hands in pockets, dressed in white tonight, trimmed with red, not his usual colours. He's actually wearing what looks more like an England shirt than a Wales shirt, and he hasn't smiled yet until now, but those pearly whites haven't come out just yet. He will be smiling from ear to ear though, Dance, if he takes out the defending champion.
And that is something that Gerwyn Price has been able to do that not many other dart players on the PDC circuit have been able to since Luke Littler rose to prominence. That is to say, beat him regularly. I think he's got probably the only head-to-head record which has him in front of Littler at this point.
Yeah, really interesting head-to-head over the last couple of years in Premier League Darts, as he roars towards the crowd and smiles, trying to get them on side, but it's going to be tough against this guy, who he is 2-2 with all Premier League season in 2025. This game right here will separate the two and see who makes the final.
Well, Luke Littler broke all sorts of records across the 16 weeks of the Premier League that has brought us here tonight on talkSPORT to the O2 Arena. The champion of the world, as announced by John McDonald, Luke Littler, about to take his walk to the stage. The reigning Premier League champion as well. He won on debut last year and made it look so easy. And he looks a face of studied concentration as well as he walks up the steps onto the stage.
Well, here's the thing, Dance, he's a big game player. He's like Cole Palmer. The only person he can assist tonight is himself. Imagine if you had two Cole Palmers on the pitch for Chelsea last night, how much they would have won by over Batiste. Well, tonight it is Littler against Price in the first semi-final on talkSPORT, and when there is big money on the line, and prestige, the nuke usually turns up the heat.
So we're live on talkSPORT. We are also live with our free watch-alongs on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel right now. Myself, Ian Danter, and Paul Nicholson, the asset, your commentary team for this first semi-final. They'll throw a few practice darts and then we will be underway. Referee George Noble will be calling the scores, and George Noble is the latest referee to announce that he will be stepping away from the sport in the not too distant, Nico.
Yeah, he did his last European Tour event at the weekend. It was a really poignant moment as it was done in the Netherlands, where his daughter is studying law right now. But this is pretty much George Noble's patch. He's a Millwall fan.
Yeah, I had to apologise to him for saying Macaulay Langstaff would score 25 goals this season. I got that prediction slightly wrong. But funny enough, George let me off. I thought he'd get me in a headlock, but I got away with it.
No, he's a good sort like that. He's a puppy. That's his nickname. He's the puppy. Well, he's going to be officiating with the microphone. Owen Binks to his right, the referee on the right-hand side, which will show one of the scores for one of the players. On the left-hand side, you've got Charlie Gardner. And then the stage belongs to Littler and Price in an atmosphere that is quite remarkable. It is nowhere near as what it was like about 7 years ago when we covered the first one on Darts on the Radio between Michael van Gerwen and Michael Smith. It was a bit placid that night. Tonight is fabulous.
15,000 fans roar their approval as the final starts. First to 10 legs between Luke Littler and Gerwyn Price. Luke Littler won the ball backstage, so he gets the darts in the odd-numbered legs, and he gets underway with a 99 scored. Price wearing that white darts top, as Nico mentioned. Normally he's wearing the blue and black. Luke Littler in his purple darts shirt that's a big seller. Everything about Luke Littler sells. The darts, they can't keep them in dart shops long enough. When the stock arrives, they sell out immediately. As Price goes for his first maximum of the night, 140 will do. He's still looking a little, just trying to hold it in, trying not to be too nervous, Gerwyn Price. Littler pops in a 139, going for the bullseye. Price on 303, so we're well underway here on talkSPORT at the O2 for Darts on the Radio.
Yeah, seen so much purple tonight with Luke Littler shirts. It might as well be the Fiorentina home game. Well, 25 with the first two for Littler on a 167 effort. He has to settle for 45 to leave 122. Price back on 264, looking to leave a finish. Two big 20s, needs a treble with the last dart and gets it in the 18s to leave 170.
122 for Littler, 104 left, so treble 18 would leave the bull, and he hits single 18 again. The bed was slightly masked by the first dart, ends up with just 54 scored. So the man that owns the fish and chip shop looking for the big fish, but it won't go with a single 20. Comes down for the 19s and hits a treble 19, staying down there. Single 19 hit.
68 for Littler in the first leg of this first semi-final. Single 16 goes to the 12s, gets it for tops, misses it a centimetre high and slightly right, giving Price a chance to break in the first leg on 74.
Treble 18 for double 10. Oh, he's hit 4, so 70 left. Treble 20 leaves double 5, and he's pinned it and broken the throw, and a yelp from Gerwyn Price as he goes 1-0 up, taking out 74.
Yeah, that double 5 hit Dance. That was the double that won him the world title in this city. That was back in 2021. This is a very different time with very different motivations. It's about ticking this off your list. It's not about the money tonight. It's about having the title of Premier League champion. These guys don't struggle for money anymore. It's not like it was in the mid-90s. These guys are wealthy individuals. They want the money, of course, but the title of Premier League champion is something that 3 of the 4 people tonight haven't got.
Well, Price has barely played outside of the Premier League nights in the past month, except for a European Tour event where he lost to Raymond van Barneveld, a former Premier League stalwart, in one of the early rounds, so round of 16 tie. So he's been managing his schedule and keeping it light. Littler in the red bit, you can hear that rhythmic pattern of the throw, very much a muscle memory throw from Littler. Gets through from dart 1 to 3 relatively quickly.
Year 2, or album number 2 as it would be in your world, Dance.
Yeah.
Littler this year has been asked the question, can you defend your titles? He went to the first European Tour event of the year and won it. So I think he will not want to let this go lightly. That 140 gets him down to 174. Price back on 252 at the halfway point of the leg is going to leave a finish from here. He scores a ton to leave 152, so it is a chance to go 2-0 up.
Yeah. Littler can't take out 174, but he can eat into it quite a lot with 2 treble 19s found, leaving him on top. So 152 is not going to go for Gerwyn Price. Chance for Luke Littler to break back here for 1-1 on talkSPORT.
Yeah, he missed double top in the first leg with 1. This time he's got 3 if he needs them. He missed tops low, so double 10. It will be at his mercy. He is the person who can hit double 10 better than anybody on this earth. And it gets him a break back. So it's 1-1 on talkSPORT. And we're into leg 3 now. And this is the point of the game. If you don't get a big jump on Littler, Dance, you might struggle, because Littler is someone who just warms up within 2 or 3 legs and can go to a level that can't be caught.
Well, I mentioned that Price had beaten Littler 6 times in a row, but the last 2 meetings, both in the Premier League, have gone Littler's way, winning 6 legs to 3 both times. But Gerwyn Price does have something of the number. Leads 7-6 in the head-to-head, but they've yet to meet in a major ranking television event like the World Champs or the match play. Nearly the first 180 of the night from Littler, doesn't quite come, but he's down to 180. Price looking to break again, but he won't get down to a finish with this visit. A little bit messy from the Welshman.
When Littler gets his next 180, because he will get one in this match, is he going to do the big fish thing? Because it will be his 170th 180 of the campaign. That 140, though, leaves him on tops after 12 darts. He is most definitely starting to warm up.
Price staying on treble 19 at the bottom of the board for the moment, but can't pick it off. Double top for Littler. Pins that with 1 dart, and he's in front for the first time in a race to 10. On talkSPORT, he's 2-1 in the lead.
Yeah, Littler in this tournament has averaged 102.3 for 37 matches. That is almost 3 points better than the world number 1 Luke Humphries, who he's had a lot of dust-ups with. Is that 180 coming? Not quite. Called by George Noble as a 140, and everybody here at the O2 in London thought it was a max.
Just slightly obscured the view of that final dart as it landed above the first 2. Littler explaining to the crowd, no, not quite, lads and lasses, but it's coming, it's on the way, it's in the post.
Yeah, Littler's got the best win percentage of this Premier League as well. No shock there, 73% in all of his games. And the next best, Luke Humphries at 62.
Well, his win percentage for the year in all competitions is 76%, Littler, which is about on a par with last year, when of course he won the Worlds and had his first proper year on the Pro Tour.
Well, look what he's just left, 132 Littler off 719s. This is the shot that he missed to win the world title, but would then hit the double 16 after, but he's under pressure. Price's max leaves 61, and the 132 is not going to go.
Nowhere near the ball with that first dart, hit single 14. A bit of a bag of nails from Littler. 61 for Price to make it 2-2, 15 hit, so 46 left. Hit 6, 4 tops. Steps back from the hockey for a moment, licks his fingers and pins tops, and another roar from the Welshman as we're level again at 2-2.
I don't know if you can hear that, Dance, but there's a lot of Price fans here. We are in London. This guy's from Wales. He's probably thinking, I'm coming out here, I'm going to be thrown to the wolves like I'm going into the Coliseum up against their big champion. There are plenty of Gezi Price fans here tonight, and they've just made their voices heard.
Well, Gezi is a man for whom controversy follows him around a little bit. He's up for another maximum here. Oh, the third dart just drops, a little underpitched and drops into small 20. But it's not that long since he was up on the stage just up the road from here at the Alexandra Palace, wearing those ear defenders to block out the boos he was getting from the audience in the World Championships.
Well, your ears do get rather cold in late December, Dance. Maybe it was a warmth thing instead of a volume thing. 308 Littler, Price on 301 here. Littler has to go to the 18s first. Single followed by one treble 20. There could have been a second, but the third one falls out the board to leave him 60 points short of a finish on 230.
So can Price take advantage from 301? On the pitches for the first start at the treble 20. Hits treble 18 as he went around the board, chasing a treble. It's not enough for a finish though. Littler 230, plays Price 208. Semi-final number 1. The Premier League Darts 2025 on talkSPORT, with Luke Humphries, Nathan Aspinall to come once this semi-final is decided. And Gerwyn Price looking for a maximum number 2, and he's got it to get down to a finish of double 14. Littler wants the big fish, but it will not go.
No, 2 darts straight above that 60 and a third to leave 110. Price's second maximum of this semi-final has left double 14. He's missed it just inside, so double 7. He's gone inside on the 7s as well, so decides to bust the score completely, and Littler on 110 can fortuitously take this 5th leg.
Oh, hits the treble 19, 13 for tops. Tops for a 110 finish, just over the top. And will Gerwyn go back for double 14, or will he split it? Looks like he's going for it. And he's pinned it right at the bottom of the bed. And he's broken again to lead 3-2 against the world champion.
Price has said on record very recently that he knows how to beat Littler. As to how he's doing that, he's not really going to tell us, is he? He's not going to let everybody know how he can get into the mind of the world champion and world number 2. But so far so good. 3-2 up. Littler hasn't hit a max yet. He's hit a barrel load of 140s though.
Well, Gerwyn Price likes to get under the skin of people. He called out Jake Paul a couple of months ago.
I'd pay to see that.
Well, he was going to be in a boxing match about 3 or 4 years ago, and he ended up pulling out of it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was more focused on trying to win darts tournaments. Boxing and darts don't mix if you're doing the same things at the same time.
Not especially.
You want to look after those wrists and fingers.
Well, you can't really hold a dart in one of those boxing glove things, can you?
I've tried, it's not easy.
No, I can imagine it wouldn't be. Leg number 6. Gerwyn Price leads 3 legs to 2 with a break against Luke Littler. First to 10 legs, advances to the final. We will take a short comfort break after the first 10 legs have been completed. Price wanted bull for double 16 and couldn't find the bullseye. So he's left tops. 1-2-8 for Littler. Treble 18 hit. 2 treble 18s for double 10. 1-2-8 checker. Hello. Littler pins a beauty to break back, and it's 3-3.
The genius of that shot is that he got a shot at double 10 for the 1-2-8 out. That was hurtful because Price was sitting on tops to go 4-2 up on the world champion. Biggest finish of the match for 2 reasons. One, it's the biggest number, and secondly, because it keeps Littler in touch at 3-3.
Now they are piling in the ton plus scores as we go into leg 7. Price has won a couple of titles in 2025. Early on in January, beat Chris Dobey in Players Championship 2 and beat Josh Rock quite recently in Players Championship 12. Both of those events he won in a deciding leg, 8-7. Remember, it's first to 10 just to get to the final of this tournament. Littler looking for a max and gets a max. He's down to 1-2-7 to go 4-3 up.
The volume in this place went up tenfold when that 1-2-8 was landed by Littler. Now he's got his first max. He's looking for 127 to go in front by 4 legs to 3. Single 20, gets to 57, doesn't have to go a bull. Layers up with a big 10 to lead tops, and 4-3 up is imminent.
With the disappointment from the punters when he didn't go for the bullseye. But he's in for tops now to go 4-3 up. Just underneath, double 10. He's inside double 10, double 5 then, and he's over the top of double 5. So Gerwyn Price 16 for double 16 to break again.
Single 8 found, looking for tops for 4-3 up for Price. He's just under tops. Can he hit 10s? He can in the bottom half. This is a breakathon dance. It's all they're doing, breaking each other backwards and forwards. Try calling this game right now. We're approaching the halfway point, and it's a bit of a puzzle.
Price's doubling is better than Littler's. 57% on his doubles compared to 33% at the moment for the Nuke. And it is 4-3 to Gerwyn Price. And he's got the throw in leg 8. But Littler pins a 140 compared to Gerwyn's ton. But Price back in the lipstick and comes down for a 177. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, we've had 2 maximums from Price now, and we've just had the 177. Littler back now. It's another 140, his 9th of this game. It's only leg 8. Incredible amount of 2 treble scoring from the world champion. He's 33% on the doubles, like you mentioned. Price is at 57. He's raised his levels from the campaign. Tonight he's playing better on the outer ring and the bullseye if needs be. He's got 132 when he comes back, as Littler leaves 1-2-1.
Will he go bull double 16? Yes, he will. He's hit the first bull. And he's hit the second double 16. Gerwyn Price. Brilliant. 1-3-2. They're out finishing each other now. And now it's 5-3. And there's a bit of daylight between Gerwyn Price and Luke Littler.
That's the first big warning shot to the defending champion. That was a special finish. He hit those 2 bullseyes right at the top of the centre target, and then 32 out with 1 dart and double 16 to give him a 5-3 lead. Price is cooking now, averaging over 100 and looking for a 3rd max here at the start of leg 9. Gets it, all in the right half of the bed as well.
Oh, you could have fit another 12 darts in that bed with what was left exposed. So, a 180 to start leg 9. And even though Luke Littler himself is averaging over 100, he's under pressure. 4 perfect darts does not become 5. Only a ton for Gerwyn Price.
4 perfect darts there, Dance, and he was going for his 3rd Premier League 9-darter of the season.
Yeah, he got 9s in Manchester and in Aberdeen. He's the best at 9-darters in Premier League history with 5 overall.
He's on 221 here, going for cover down to the 19s. Gets 4. Leaves himself on 125. Littler on 139, gets a 57. Looks at the 42 and gets it tops. Oh, and he's just high. So now Price is on another finish here, Dance, which starts on the bullseye. 125.
Hits the 25. Treble 20 for tops. Just over the top of the red bit.
65.
So Littler back in to go back within a leg. Double top for the youngster. It's a good inch over the top. And even further with dart 2. And underneath tops on dart 3, his doubling percentage is way off base.
It really is. And Price has got to take advantage of this. He's 5-3 up. He's got single 20 in the left half, going for tops for the 6-3 lead. He misses it high, then misses it low by the same margin, about 1.5 centimetres. High, then low. And on the back of Littler's neck, it looks a bit red. He looks fired up and a little bit nervous at this point. He needs a double. And that double is double 10, his best friend on the dartboard to go 5-4 down.
But it's double 10. And the usual outcome sees Luke Littler pin double 10 with 1 dart. So it's 5-4. We'll have a short comfort break after this 10th leg. Will Gerwyn Price go in with a 6-4 lead, or can Littler break and give us parity?
Everybody listening to this on talkSPORT right now will understand what we're about to say. 135 start for Littler, 140 start for Price. But if you think Littler winning this game is a sure thing, I've got 2 examples why that's not the case. Newcastle United and Crystal Palace. This is one night only. If you don't perform in the next 20 minutes, you will lose. These guys are playing well. They're both averaging 101.
Luke Littler, the reigning Premier League champion who won on debut last year, is getting a real stern examination of his credentials from the Welshman here, who's down to a 1-2-5 finish on throw. Littler only hits 88, so he's not on a finish. He's got 6 darts here at 1-2-5. Price, he's got a dart at tops. He's going to go for it. Why not? Oh, he's just over. So he'll be back for tops in a minute.
And if you're going to miss it high. And he has, so he will be back for tops. For a 6-4 lead at the only break of this game. Just a ton from Littler and tops for Price for that 6-4 lead.
Just underneath, so down for double 10. He's inside double 10. 1 dart at double 5, he's got it. And so Gerwyn Price goes in at the mid-session interval with a 2-leg lead over Luke Littler. It's a race to 10 legs to make it to the final. Littler exits stage left very, very quickly because the man from Markham in South Wales has a 2-leg lead over the reigning Premier League champion. It is Gerwyn Price 6, Luke Littler 4 on talkSPORT of the Premier League Darts final. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. That's where NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro steps up to the hockey. Just think of it as your personal mid-leg. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and you'll get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal as well. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. We'll be back with the conclusion of Price against Littler very shortly here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. BeGambleAware.org. More wickets at Edgbaston in the ODI. Guy Swindles. Thank you very much indeed, Guy. Back here at the O2 Arena in London, 15,000 tickets have been snapped up. When you look around this arena, we're side stage, and you look way up into the gods of this place, and you think, goodness me, how far darts has come, Paul Nicholson.
The only way I can really describe this is, I mean, we've been here before,
yes,
but this has a very different feel to it this year. It's as if they've made this place bigger. And it looks like Valhalla in the best possible way, because you're looking at seam-to-seam darts fans from the very top to front of the stage. They are everywhere. You couldn't wish for a better venue for these finals. It's no wonder they keep coming back every year.
Yeah, it's a fantastic venue, the O2. But even right at the back, every seat filled. Everybody wants a piece of this. And Gerwyn Price is taking a bit of a chunk out of Luke Littler so far. 6-4 up going into the second half of this semi-final. Nathan Aspinall against Luke Humphries. will be up next. Gerwyn Price has a 6-4 lead, so he's got a break of throw. Littler has the throw at the start of leg 11. And that mid-session break, a reminder that darts players can't talk to anybody. They can't be coached. No pep talks. Well, Luke Littler's talked to himself backstage and thought, I need a 180 or two. So he's just popped one in.
Yeah, I've got 2 words for Gerwyn Price right now. Uh-oh. Because when Littler was coming down the steps, past our commentary position, it's as if he was ready to go into Hulk mode. Look at the darts he's doing now. Oh. That is 147 scored, 2 treble 20s and treble 9 to leave tops, and he's miles in front, and his expression has changed.
He stomped off the stage. That's the best way to describe it. He's on tops to go back within a leg. Gets that, so it's 6-5 now. But Price has that break advantage as he starts leg 12, the Welshman, who won in Dublin in week 3, Nottingham in week 6, and Liverpool in week 12. But he's on a bit of a revenge mission himself, Premier League-wise, Gerwyn Price. He's reached the final once, 2 years ago when he lost to Michael van Gerwen.
Indeed, that hurt as well because he was in sparkling form at the time.
Well, he'd won the league, hadn't he? He was top of the table going into finals night.
Littler's done that the last couple of years, and he doesn't want to let this trophy go. Let me tell you, he's won twice as many weekly finals in this campaign than Price and than Humphries. He had 6, which is a record. There is no record in Premier League darts that Luke Littler hasn't got now, apart from how many times he's won the thing.
So, leg 12. Littler pops in a steady turn, but Price is down to a finish of 161, which doesn't have to go. Going on the 19s and the 17s, but picks up singles. Went for the bull and picked up 25, but there's an appreciative nod from Paul Nicholson to my right.
Yeah, just super board management there from Gerwyn Price, getting to the 2-darter. That's a 140 from Littler, though, to leave 80. So this 100 might have to go for Price. Big 20. Follows it up. Gets the treble. Needs this double 10 for a 7-5 lead to stave off a fight back from the champ. And it's double 15, which is too many. He goes back to 100 with Littler on 80.
A chance to break for Littler. One more 20 leaves tops. The bed slightly obscured, and he misses as a consequence. So Price is back in for that 100 that he bust just a moment ago.
Same first dart, it's just above the 60. Second dart doesn't find the bed. It was a really good shot, but it just about ricocheted away. Only 60 scored to lead tops, and Littler's on 10s to level. Misses it inside, so it's 5s. Gets it with the first dart. Slightly right of centre, and it's 6-6. That lead he had at the break, Price, it's disappeared.
17 dart break of throw for Luke Littler, whose average is still just over 100 for his 3-dart running average. Price's is dipped to just below 97 for his 3 darts, but a trebleless visit to start leg 13 for Littler, and Price could be the breakathon again. 180 comes in from the Welshman.
Effectively, this is now best of 7 legs. There is no tiebreaker at the end. If it's 9-all, it'll be a 1-leg shootout. And Littler's rather good at best of 7. He won 2 Modus Super Series titles at that format, and still the only person who's won that title twice. He's going for the 2nd title tonight, so he knows how to get through these situations.
But he's under pressure. Can he pop in a 180 here? No, the 3rd dart deflects off the first 2 into small 20 for Littler. Price coming down from 262. He's looking for a maximum. Again, there's loads of room, and he just over pitches. 140 will have to do for Gerwyn Price.
And he'll go for the 18s when he comes back. He's on 122. Littler on 231. Gets a bullseye and a 25 at the end of his combination to leave 136. Price now in for the 18s. Gets a single. Needs to go right of the oche, and then collides with his own dart, and the dart lands on the floor. So he only ends up scoring 36 to leave 86. Now, Littler's got a chance here. It's a big number, though.
Needed 2 treble 20s. He only hit a single 20, single 19, and a treble, which takes him down to tops, but 86 for Price. Single 18. Treble 18 is hit, leaves him double 7. He's had problems with this tonight. Not that time. He's broken again. 7-6. Littler turns his head towards his table, shakes his head. They're just breaking each other for fun here. 7-6 on talkSPORT to Gerwyn Price.
Price is digging so deep right now. He's winning legs in departments on the board that he doesn't usually leave. He's winning it with a scrappy 97 average. That's the kind of darts that we have these days. 97 can be classified as scrappy. He's 7-6 in front, the Welshman. He's 3 away from the final.
Littler under pitches with his first dart, so comes down to the 19s, picks off 4 of those to get a slight advantage at the start of leg 14. Price drifted into treble 1 initially, but good recovery, but only 83 scored. So Littler with this violent throw he's got, just launches the darts. Only a ton scored.
Yeah, his stance is so side on. That foot, that right foot, the lead foot, is against that raised hockey. The knee is twisted 90 degrees to the left. The body is 90 degrees to the left. But he turns the upper body and then gracefully raises the dart and throws it so hard and so effectively right here. 18s, he gets 3 trebles, and that leaves him on 143, which is a guaranteed shot to get back to 7-7.
Because Price is back on 258 on his own throw. Picks out a score that leaves him on a finish, but 143 Littler. Treble 20 hit, treble 17, leaves double 16. Just on the wire on the outside. Will he be back? Price wants a big number.
He would love this 160 checkout for 8-6. He would love it. He's not going to get it. He's high of that 60 by half a centimetre, and again. Dart 3 is just the same. He leaves himself on 100, but Littler in unfamiliar territory on double 16. However, it would give him 7-7, and he hits it with the second dart. 7-7 it is on talkSPORT, and this game is now a best of 5 leg contest from here.
Just trying to justify to his VIP guests, look, I can do it, because as you say, it's unfamiliar territory for Littler to be on the left-hand side of the board aiming for doubles. Loves his double 10, like Ryan Joyce loves his 16s, and Ryan Searle loves his double tops.
Well, is this the part of the game where Price starts to empty the tank a little bit more? He might need it. This game has got adrenaline all over the place, and that 180 is ridiculous from Luke the Nuke. 3 points completely welded together like a T1000 in Terminator. Unbelievable 180.
And only 57 in response from Price. So Littler on throw at 7 legs apiece in a race to 10 on talkSPORT at the Premier League Darts. Aspinall Humphries will come next. But the tension here is so easy to spot. You can see everyone's riveted to their seats. Not much singing going on. They're watching the darts, and they're watching Littler miss double 12. But he'll be back because Price is way back.
Yeah, it could have been an 11 darter there for the Nuke. Could have been a 12. It was neither. He's on double 6 after 12. 88 scored by Price to leave 138, but Littler next door to his favourite is double 6. Gets it, and he's in front. Now can he use this lead to kick forward, as his average has climbed by 2% in the last 6 or 7 minutes?
I don't think he's been in front since leg 3 when he was 2-1 up. Crucial point in the game for Luke Littler to get his nose back in front against a former world champion in Gerwyn Price.
Look at Littler's eyes when he comes back to the hockey dance. Littler is staring through the board. It's like he's got a vendetta against the Sisal.
He's hit treble 20 once, twice. How about thrice? No, it deflects into treble 5. Gerwyn has got to come down to the 19s and try and pick off some trebles himself. He's done well. He's hanging on to Luke's coattails in this leg.
Just about. 2-6-6 for Littler, but not for long. 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3 trebles. Now he's got a 4th 180, and he's level with Price in that metric. He's got 86 left to establish a 9-7 lead to be within 1 of another Premier League final.
Bull for double 18. No, he's gone treble 18 for double 16. 1 dart left. Pins it. It's 9-7. He's 1 leg away, Luke Littler. And this is what we talked about at the start of our show. Course and distance for the world champion and Premier League champion.
It is quite astonishing what this young man can do with such little experience. This is supposed to be difficult. If anybody else was playing Price tonight, they'd be in hot water. But Littler right now is the antidote to that. He's floating, he's buoyant, he's 9-7 up on talkSPORT, and he needs 401 more points to put the Iceman in the melting pot.
And he has throw in this leg at 9-7 up, and he's looking for another maximum. Suddenly he's finding his range, and Luke Littler is on the brink of the final.
Most of this semi-final he's been playing under his tournament average. Now he's over it by 2 points. He is cooking right now. He's 221. Price 40 points behind. Littler is running for the line. Another max. There it is. That should be his last one, because he's got 41 for the final.
Unbelievable. He averaged 104 against Price the last 2 times he beat him in the Premier League. Now he's averaging 105, looking for an 11 darter to seal his passage back to the final. 9 for double 16 for Luke Littler. He's an inch outside, and he pins it with the final dart. And Littler is full of admiration for his opponent, but he knows that he's going to be back in a Premier League final for a second year in succession. Gerwyn Price gave his all, but against this boy, and he's still a boy, he's not yet a man, it's just not enough when Luke Littler gets into high gear. Paul Nicholson.
He was 6-4 down at the break. Let's just remind ourselves of that. 6-4 down. From that point, he won 6 legs to 1. It was a very different game in the second half. It was very much like Betis against Chelsea last night, which was live on talkSPORT, because the fact is, Price playing the role of Real Betis, he was the better player in the first half, but my word, Littler was just insatiable in the second half, and he sprinted towards the line and Price couldn't catch him.
All of a sudden he had 6 180s when Price was leading that metric for so long in that tie. 16 ton 40 scores plus 17 ton plus scores, an average of 104 again against Gerwyn Price for the 3rd Premier League match in a row. And Gerwyn Price looked like he had the measure of him a couple of times. He had that 2-leg lead at a couple of points, but that just shows you Luke Littler, for someone of just 18 years of age, has reserves of courage and fight and spirit that very few sportsmen have.
He had to dig really deep in that game, because he was in a bit of bother. His doubles were shocking at the start. He couldn't find his favourite doubles. He was trying different plans. And I tell you what is the most impressive thing about that 104.64 average. It's his ability to change in game. You think about players like James Wade, you think about other people who have one plan. It's leave tops, it's leave 10s, it's leave 12s. What Littler did towards the end of that game was realise this plan isn't working, so what can I do to change it? At the end he had 41 after 9 darts. He went for 9 double 16. He never does that. Tonight he needed to, it worked, he's in the final.
So who will face Luke the Nuke in this year's Premier League final? We are about to find out here on talkSPORT, because Nathan Aspinall and Luke Humphries will contest the 2nd semi-final, and Chris Mason will join Paul Nicholson in our commentary box side stage here at the O2 Arena in London to bring you that semi-final. But we've had a thriller here to kick off the night on talkSPORT. Luke Littler beats Gerwyn Price by 10 legs to 7 to go through to tonight's final. Back shortly with Aspinall against Humphries on your home of darts on the radio, talkSPORT. All right, I'm just going to do another VPN read. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro, that helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dark Web Monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Just check the feed on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. You'll see the 2nd semi-final come up shortly. You can click on, and then you can have your watch along with Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson for Aspinall against Humphries very shortly.